it comes to sex. Вород is here with more on a new study of why young people of today are just not enjoying sex, which is very surprising. I mean, I imagine it was even surprising for you, and you're a sex therapist.
So, yeah, I consult a lot of young women, and I do work with a lot of women at the millennial age. Some are younger, some are older, and they're reporting, and I do hear about that they're not enjoying sex, that they do not feel pleasure. But now, when I see such big research, a work that was done in England, out of 7,000 women, a lot of them report that they're not feeling pleasure while they're having intercourse. And we don't know the exact source or the reason of why it's happening, but there is a lot of things that I brought up and I can talk about today that I think contribute to this feeling. And the first thing I want to start is pretty much inadequate sex education. I was also a sex educator. I worked with teenage in the United States for 3 years almost, and I worked with a lot of them. They tell you that you have to help them avoid unwanted pregnancies and STIs, which is great, and learn about their body, which is great, but no one tells them how much pleasure they can feel.
Right, so they're hearing about all the things to avoid, not focusing on how to enjoy it. And it
scares them, so it's already created a negative experience when this is a very positive experience, when it's done right for you, when you know your body, when you know what kind of touch provide you pleasure, and you bond with another person, you feel good, but no one tells them, no one explain that in sex education. And if I look further into what the media present, there is another problem, because I can see a lot of articles with big titles, but they're all based on male sexuality, which completely ignores female sexuality. More than that, women feel like they need to fit into what provide pleasure to the men and ignoring themselves completely. It's not on purpose, it's just the knowledge is not always out there, and there is so much more to learn, but it just doesn't exist. Media titles as far as you need like in 8 minutes to reach your peak, or you need to have this amount of sex a week, or they're all misleading.
So there's just a lot of shoulds. But what do you quit? I mean, listen, but on one hand, that's why I was surprised. Like, you would think they would be more open. I mean, now you got dating websites, you've got, people are sexting, people are doing things.
Yes.
Through the use of media that they wouldn't necessarily do in person. So do you think that somehow also contributes to being repressed when you're in reality? I
think what happened is I think the generation that is used to get everything with a press of a button, it shortened their foreplay, and it makes them feel like we need to feel satisfied or sexual gratification right now and really, really quick. And this is where we miss the women's sexuality. For women, it takes time to feel the sensual and sexual, even if she's with the right partner. It takes time for her body physically to start getting aroused, which is going to make to a much more pleasant sex and less pain. So they're missing this, and this is a very important component when it comes to women pleasure in bed. The other thing is that a lot of women report that they do start to explore sexuality through apps, and they are sexting, as you said, but they are scared to go out there and meet, so they kind of stay in the house.
They think that's it, but it's a whole different experience.
Yes, so they feel like this is their sexual experience rather than have a physical touch with another person.
Shelley, thank you. Very interesting indeed. I know you have an interesting topic for next week as well. Thank you.